Hello, I'm Kimberlie Acosta. Welcome to the Native News Update on Friday, September 24th. Many of the stories you hear here can be found at our website, IndianCountryNews.com. And here's the news for the day from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. Curtis Bonnell will go on trial on the charges of first-degree murder in the 2009 death of his cousin, 16-year-old Hilary Bonell. A preliminary hearing for the 29-year-old man wrapped up on September 22nd. Hilary Bonell went missing from the Burnt Church First Nation on September 5, 2009. She was last seen walking along Highway 11 at about 7:30 a.m. Her body was found in late November of that year in a wooded area near Tricati-Sheila. Pre-trial motions are scheduled to begin October 4th. The trial itself is expected to begin late this winter. Environmentalists and some local government officials are protesting a Canadian power company's proposal to haul 16 scrap generators with radioactive components across 3 of the Great Lakes on their way to a recycling bin in Sweden. Bruce Power Incorporated, based in Ontario, is seeking a license from the Canadian Nuclear Safety Commission for the shipment. It would depart from a lake on Lake Huron, it would depart from a port on Lake Huron's Owen Sound and travel Lake Erie in Ontario and the St. Louis River before reaching the Atlantic Ocean. Commission staffers have recommended approval, saying the shipment would pose little, if any, threat to human health or the environment. But complaints and questions from the public led the panel to schedule a hearing for September 28th and 29th in Ottawa. Bruce Power says the generators have been welded shut to prevent radioactive leaks. Each is the size of a school bus and weighs about 100 tons. Opponents include environmental groups, an organization representing Great Lakes cities, and American Indian tribes. They say even the remote possibility of an accident that would release radiation is too big a gamble for the lakes, which provides drinking water to some 40 million people. 3 members of the Mississippi Band of Choctaw have dropped their challenge to the location of a casino on tribal lands in Jones County, Mississippi. Vicki Rangel, who led the group that had fought for an election on the casino, notified tribal officials recently that no other challenges would be pursued. Rangel and others had sought a tribe-wide election in June shortly after the tribal council voted 8-7 to approve the building of the casino in Sandersville, Mississippi. Tribal Judge Jeffrey Webb ruled in August that Tribal Election Commission acted properly in denying the petition. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency says it has reissued a water discharge permit for a coal mining operation in northern Arizona. The EPA had withdrawn the permit late last year after an appeal by environmentalists who contended the discharge of heavy metals and pollutants threatens water resources for nearby tribal communities. The EPA held additional public hearings on the Navajo and Hopi reservations. The EPA says the permit for Peabody's Energy Black Mesa Mine complex was signed this month and allows for the continued discharge of treated storm water generated from the mining area. The mining complex sits on nearly 65,000 acres that Peabody leases from the Navajo and Hopi tribes and has been in operation since the 1970s. Zuni silversmith Tony Eriacho wants to educate the public about American Indian jewelry and crafts that aren't what they seem. At a recent Zuni Arts and Crafts show in New Mexico, he showed visitors Indian-style fetish animals made in the Philippines, colored stones that were really made of plastic, and dust of turquoise and other rocks glued together to look like solid turquoise. What bothers Eriacho is that such items often are fraudulently marketed as authentic Indian-made goods, which violates federal law. Congress this summer passed amendments to the 1990 Indian Arts and Crafts Act aimed at cracking down on sellers who falsely suggest their goods are Indian or Alaska Native made. The revisions allow all federal law enforcement officers to investigate suspected violations. Interior Secretary Ken Salazar recently said his department is starting work on its 4,000th stimulus project, a $7.2 million improvement project at the St. Francis School in South Dakota. Assistant Bureau of Indian Affairs Secretary Larry Echohawk was to visit the school this week for a groundbreaking ceremony. Salazar says the federal stimulus program has provided an opportunity to meet long-standing construction needs in Indian country. The St. Francis Indian School is getting a new gymnasium and kitchen. The school serves more than 550 students in grades 7 to 12 for the Rosebud Sioux tribe. The American Diabetes Association, the nation's leading voluntary health organization in the fight against diabetes, announces several leading special diabetes program for Indians grantees, presented with the John Pipe Voice for Change Award in recognition of their effective diabetes treatment and prevention services in American Indian and Alaska Native communities. The awards were presented at the National Indian Health Board's 27th Annual Consumer Conference on September 22nd in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And that's the latest roundup of news from Indian Country in this edition of the Native News Update. I'd like to thank you for joining me, and have a grand day.